Hello, I'm James Preston and welcome to another edition of Executive Corner Expert Talks, exclusive to Kalkine TV. Federal elections will be held in 2022 and they loom as perhaps the most intriguing elections of our lifetime. With a backdrop of 2 years of pandemic-induced woes, state and federal government chaos and power trips, heightening tensions with China and the nation's worst ever housing crisis, voters are motivated for change like never before. One man who may have the answer is Ricardo Bosey. He's the leader of the Australia One Party and he joins me live now on Kalkine. Ricardo, it's a pleasure to have you here.
James, thank you very much for your kind invitation. Good to be here.
Ricardo, let's start with an issue that your party has picked up a lot of traction with, and that is, of course, COVID-19, or more specifically, the reaction of various governments in handling the virus. What's Australia's One's position in terms of, well, everything that's going on with both government reactions and the virus itself?
Sure. Well, the question about whether it was intentionally created or an accidental natural development, or whether it was intentionally released or an accidental release, we'll just put that to one side because that's an issue that will be investigated in due course. But what is without doubt is that the governments, that is the federal and state governments, Liberal Labor governments, their response has been completely over the top. They have destroyed it appears almost by design. They've destroyed the middle class, they've destroyed the economy, and so their response has been completely ridiculous. I ran in the Eden Monaro by-election last year that occurred, and the question was asked, what would you do about COVID? And my answer was quite simple. Quarantine the sick, release the healthy, open up the economy, let us get back to work. Because nothing they do makes any sense. So our view is very simple. Is COVID real? Probably. Is it causing massive deaths? No. Are the vaccines or the alleged vaccines causing more drama? Without a doubt, because the nurses and doctors are now coming out about that. So our policy is very simple. Quarantine the sick, free the healthy, open up the economy and let us get back to work.
Ricardo, you also spoke at the Freedom Rally in Sydney over the weekend. From the footage I've seen, it looked like the ones in Sydney, that would have been around about 100,000 people. Melbourne was much bigger than that, closing in on about 300,000, 400,000 people, according to the aerial footage and also reports surrounding internet issues, even dropping out because there was just too many people there. Yet we've seen from a number of mainstream outlets that they've estimated about 10,000 people for both. Why do you think it's been reported in such a fashion?
Because they must maintain control of the narrative. And they've lost it, because what's happening now is, and this is great news for Australians, we've got to keep fighting, keep turning up to the protests. But understand this, they have lost control of the narrative. They can no longer say there are 10,000 people there, because when it's blatantly obvious there are far more. And so their lies are now being shown up for what they are. They will now be compelled to start reporting with greater accuracy, only because they're terrified of the consequences if they keep perpetuating these lies. And they are bald-faced lies. We know they're bald-faced lies. It's clear as day again to anybody that's paying attention. But as more and more Australians come out, and we've got another rally this weekend, and it's not a